All right, friends, we're gonna switch it up again today. I'm trying to do some things to just kind of switch things up and get back to where we are or where we used to be on this channel. And there's just a lot of flashpoints right now, and I thought it'd be good to cover them to get you guys up to speed. Today, I'm actually doing a bunch of things. Went to the dentist and getting a lot of medical stuff done, which prepping wise, take care of yourself as kind of the video yesterday was about. Don't be afraid to go out and take a little time for yourself. Don't get all down. Don't get into the doom and gloom. Should you be cognizant and aware of everything going on in the world? Yeah, but don't freak yourself out and give yourself a medical alert because you're too intense. Take it light, as my friend John used to say. So um I wanted to come here and just kind of talk about some things that I'm seeing going on around. So what I do is for the crisis report, I haven't used StreamYard in a couple months. I was going to start this about 10 minutes ago to play around with it again to refigure out how everything worked. But um, there's a lot of flashpoints going on right now. And I kind of mentioned that yesterday. I want to get an earlier one done today. I'm trying to transition where I can do some kind of in this time frame of about 5 to 6 o'clock. Now that sports ball is kind of winding down for our fall season for my daughter and I, daughters plural. I want to get out here a little bit more in the afternoon, evening, early evening, kind of before, and do videos so people can kind of watch them at night. I like the presentation style of StreamYard. So we're just going to kind of do a test run on this thing right now and just see how it goes. Um, I've noticed when you use StreamYard and you use different platforms, some for some reason in the algo are more accepted and loved, whereas others are a little bit more hindered. That is StreamYard. I've figured out that a few months ago that for some reason StreamYard on my channels, and it could be different for other people, they were not as ubiquitous. They were not as put out as the turning on the mobile camera. So that's why I do that. But I just thought, what the heck? I want to present some articles and things that I'm seeing so you all can kind of see as well what's going on. Okay. So I think we will start with the obvious. Let's start with a few days ago. Let's start just kind of on what is going on in Eastern Europe. Okay. And there are, that's the thing. We're all focused on Ukraine, or excuse me, on Israel, and Ukraine is still totally going on in the background. Okay. So, as it says here, you've got Lithuania reinforces border with Kaliningrad with mines and anti tank obstacles. So, what's going on? Well, um, Kaliningrad is a very interesting place. It's off from Mother Russia proper, and it's on the Baltic, if I remember correctly. And it's basically a Lake NATO, as some people joke. It's basically separate, but it's also a very important installation because it is on the water. So they've got maritime kind of activities going on there. Hold on. Whoosh. So it's important. And Lithuania is reinforcing its border with Kaliningrad with mines and anti-tank obstacles. There's been a lot of like rhetoric as of late going on between Poland and Lithuania and Russia, and it's kind of something it's one of these things that's being glossed over. Everybody is really focused on Israel and Hezbollah, or as Netanyahu says, Hezbollah, and Hamas and all that. And there's a lot to cover over there. Don't get me wrong, but we're neglecting other places. And I think the thing that yesterday was kind of the freakiest as I was going through all this, there's so many different places that are flashpoints right now. And what my really big concern is that one of these is going to really pop off, and then all the others are going to fall domino effect style. Okay. Uh, Lithuania has put all these like dragon teeth kind of things up. Now, for those that don't know, they are that right there. The dragon teeth are these, cemented, usually jagged looking things that they put on roadways and different points of passage where, say, tanks and other military vehicles could, traverse and go through. It's a way to hinder them. It's a way to stop them. It's been used forever. If you guys remember the scenes from Saving Private Ryan, where they're doing the D-Day Normandy, push, and they're going up on the water, and they got the big X-looking things, and those are all the original forms. These are just done so it's really tough for big vehicles to get through. Okay, it's a tactic, and it works. So this is being done, but the rhetoric is kind of the most concerning thing, and the reason why is because, well, it's just another thing that's really not being kind of covered. Um, they're reinforcing bridges, they're digging trenches, a lot of similarities to World War One, to be honest with you. Belarus is connected to this area as well. Um, these are defensive preparations that are being done. Latvia and Estonia are also. These have been going on. It says here since July, but they've been going on for a long time since. And as it says, it's a network of pre-positioned fortifications, anti-tank barriers, and enhanced defensive structures along likely directions of advance from the east, intended to deter sort of rapid advancement by forces that, what happened on February 24th, 2022, or 25th, whatever day it was, the February incursion of Russia into Ukraine on the SMO, as they call it. Some people call it an invasion. It is what it is. So uh, this is just one little thing. This is just one little thing that we're not looking at. This is just one little thing that not a lot of people are talking about. This article is from a few days ago. So everything is moving so quickly that a few days ago, it seems like forever ago. And I mean, you're talking 72 hours. So Poland has started preparations of a 700-kilometer long network, fortifications. Everybody's getting basically prepared for the grand show. Okay. The big show. And as you see over to the right, you've got little Kim and Putin sitting there shaking hands. If I were to put up all the different articles, like there's a lot of things right now that they're saying that North Korea is honestly in Ukraine, and they're fighting alongside the Russians. So, of course, Lavrov, the foreign minister of Russia, has said, no, that's not true. But, we reported many months ago that there were assets being sent from North Korea. Now, whether that is personnel and equipment or just equipment and like training people, I don't know. Again, that's why we say fog of war. So this is just one little snapshot of one little thing that's going on. North Korea, going in and potentially helping Russia fight Ukraine is another little snapshot. Now you're seeing international involvement of multiple countries on battlefronts. It came out yesterday that America is sending the THAAD system, which is an air defense system. It is one of the more highfalutin kinds that can take out very high altitude, which is its name, system, like rockets, ballistic missiles that are coming in. Now, some people have said that's because they're wearing down the rocket systems of or the air defense systems of Israel. Who knows? Maybe that is, maybe it's not. THAAD is going there, but it's going to have about 100 personnel of Americans training and manning and using and getting ready for the use of that defensive system. Okay. So this is happening everywhere. Kiev Post is where I'm getting this one. And that's because a lot of other mainstream places are not, they don't even have time really to report all this. So they're calling this Eastern Shield, or at least Poland is. And as it says, a reflection of Poland's increase in defense spending, representing 4% of GDP. Trump was pretty sentient when he said, you guys are not spending enough. Well, now they are. Now they are. So the Baltic states are getting prepped for what they see are concerning moves by the Russians. And they, of course, accuse Vlad of the domino effect of going through Ukraine and then from there setting their eyes on the other Baltic states like Latvia, Estonia, and, of course, Lithuania, where we are here. So let's go on over to North Korea. Okay. This is an important one because this came out today. Roaming Prepper, thank you so much, friends or friend. I was going to say we need you and I in the not so distant future. Now things are kind of chilling out with me. You and I need to do a another double live stream together. That's been too long because your knowledge is advanced to say the least, and so we need to do that. But I appreciate that, and I'm not just saying that because you chuck me $5, which of course I appreciate, but I appreciate you. If you're not subscribing, Roaming Prepper, please do. One of them, I'm surprised you are. You should be much larger in your subscribership, if I may. But North Korea appears to be preparing for explosions on roads connected to South Korea, according to JCS, the Joint Chiefs. So they're appearing to be preparing carry out explosions. Yesterday, today, it came out that they're putting a lot of military assets, as you can see over here, onto the DMZ, the demilitarized zone. Now, what happened was North Korea got ticked off because a bunch of rogue defectors from South Korea decided to go on over to the border and take some drones with some leaflets and pepper Pyongyang with a bunch of leaflets, basically saying how much of a POS Kim Jong-un is and how North Korea is a terrible place to live and whatever. I'm not exactly sure what was said, but I'm sure it was pretty close and similar to that. And this, of course, ticked off Kim, and he said, okay. And he started to put all these defensive measures and units over onto the DMZ, and now is basically in a what some people believe is an offensive posture. Okay. So North Korea slams U.S. envoys remarking critical of North Korean human rights situation. That was earlier. It says it's ordered frontline artillery units to fully prepare to open fire. This is what's coming. Now, what I want you to notice here is, now this is Yonhap. I'm going there for a reason. Yonhap is the South Korean news agencies or agency, and it's going to give me, the best up to date, but also this really isn't being covered by a lot of mainstream places. And the reason why is because there's just so much going on. These newsrooms only have so many people that can cover things, right? And of course, North Korea is a proxy for China. They're definitely in cahoots with each other, and because of that, they're gonna just keep doing the things. And this again goes back to my fear. The fear and what I think is going on is there is coordination. You've got a lot of the alliance building being done like they did in World War I, where they're coming in, and I think they're coordinating. I think they're saying, okay, right when this happens, you guys need to do X, Y, and Z. And when that happens, our people in the Middle East are going to do X, Y, and Z, and yada, yada, yada. And there's this kind of full court press to stretch out the American system, the American military. It's going to be really hard to do things in the Middle East and in Europe and in Asia all at the same time, which, I mean, for lack of a better way of putting it, is a world at war. And that's what it is. So, and to see Saxon Riverstone, my brother from Calgary, Canada, Canada and India are having big problems today. I don't know if you want to explain what's going on with that, Saxon, but basically Canada and India are they're expelling people. That'll be covered tonight in the crisis report. So even like little things like that, the whole world is just really in an inflamed position. So North Korea's got its, dudes positioned on the front line. Artillery units are fully prepared to open fire. Um, and again, this is what, yeah. So about a day ago, South Korea warns North Korea will see the end of its regime if it harms its people, and that's just like what's going on in the last 24 hours. So there's a lot, to say the least. And to be preparing to explode roads and to make it so. What people don't know about North Korea, now personally, I don't know exactly if they have a nuclear weapon. I think they do. There's some people say they do. There's other people say no. They don't. I'm not going to go into either one of those sides. I'm just going to say I think they do. But what people don't know is they have a lot of positionings in this mountainous area. For those that don't know, we had a Korean exchange student, and I picked her brain. She's a younger girl, but I just picked her brain about just kind of the feeling. I said, your parents ever worry about what's going on with North Korea, or what's it like in your area? And she lives in not a large city like Seoul or the one that begins with an I. Anyway, she doesn't live in one of the largest cities, but she lived in a medium-sized city. It's about 45 minutes to the east of Seoul, right, and up towards the border. And I asked her, I said, do you ever worry about this? And she said, no, not really. But what you have to understand is that there's just a lot of people, like where we live in the country. She loved it because she had never seen what country living has been. When you're in Asia, everything is a very populous area. Everything is cities are just, hustle and bustle and people, people, people. And so what North Korea has are these like installations inside their mountainous regions, overlooking, of course, South Korea. So if anything were to ever come and happen, these things come popping out of the mountains and just start chucking just voluminous amounts of artillery to rain down on the very heavily population centers of South Korea. They don't even need to use a nuclear weapon. They could do all kinds of damage just by chucking a bunch of artillery at whatever. So when they're saying that they're going to be preparing for explosions on roads and they're getting their DMZ kind of install or mobile units ready for some artillery chucking, that's a big concern, especially for South Korea. And of course, there's also a lot of military over there. Americans, definitely important, important stuff. So, let's go on over to, let's see. Let's go on over here. We'll go on over to, now this is American. So, U.S. raises concern over Chinese military drills near Taiwan. I think we'll keep it in Asia for right now. And what is going on is right now, basically, they have encircled Taiwan. Okay. So what does that mean? Well, they're doing drills, and they're just saying, hey, we're practicing some drills right now. But if you look at the map of the coverage, this is effectively a blockade. They had a record-breaking amount of vessels. This is boats, jets, whatever, do incursions in the last 24 hours. I think it was 125, if I remember correctly. At this point right now, and it's just called drills, and there are some entry points, but they're very few and far between. Taiwan is surrounded by the Chinese military, okay, all the way around, full circle dominance. Highly concerning. Highly concerning. So they're sitting there and they're going, okay, well, we're effectively blockaded right now. Like things can get in, but again, it's not like you just approach. You've got military drilling going on by the Chinese right now, and they are It's something to maneuver. So People's Republic of China response: military provocations to a routine annual speech, unwarranted and risks escalation. This, of course, is Miller of the U.S. State Department. Said China employed, China employed a record 125 aircraft and its Liaoning aircraft carrier and ships large-scale military exercises, sealing off key ports, according to the Associated Press. Military moves underscore the tensions between Taiwan and China. Beijing made it clear that its military action was resolute punishment for Taiwanese President Lai Ching-te's rejection of China's sovereignty claim. So, of course, everybody plays along with this whole, rhetoric of China basically saying that they are China, that Taiwan is. They are, but they're not. They're not China. This, of course, if you know your history, Chiang Kai-shek took off in 49 when Mao was about to claim the entire country, and these are the people that were not into the whole Maoist kind of thing, and they flowed over to Taiwan, and here we are. So since then, Mao and everybody's just said, "Oh yeah, that's China. It's just they're just a little different than we are." But no, it's not. It's not. It's not China, and they want it back. And for those that don't know, I think it just happened. 75th anniversary of the Chinese Communist Party this month, right now, basically. 75th anniversary. And again, all this isn't really known by people because there's just so much going on. So you effectively have a blockade of Taiwan under the guise of military drills being done by China right now. So we go further. Military drills came days after Taiwan celebrated the founding of its government on its national day. Of course, this is when everything went down in 49, 75 years ago. United States remains committed to the longstanding one China policy. Now, this is what I'm talking about. They always say this, like, oh yeah, one China policy, but no, it's not one China policy. It's in name only, but America, of course, wants to maintain Taiwanese strength and, I guess, independence, but not in name only. Also, another thing you have to remember is Taiwan is literally the reason for global computing through their semiconductors. Semiconductor production out of Taiwan is huge. It's the most important technological hub for computation in the world, if you really look at it. Okay. So China plasty, I like that. That's good, Daryl. Another thing that's just going on that people really haven't been privy to. So let's stop that, and we're going to go on to our next little nugget. Okay, let's find this one. Here we go. This one came out today. And this is the China-Russia pledge to strengthen military cooperation. So Russia is really doing well. I mean, the lack of a better, it's slow, but they're really kind of pushing westward with the SMO. They're wrapping up a lot of different places. These are linchpins into their push west to get Ukraine under an acceptable positioning for them. Whether they go on and move to Kiev or they just stop and take what they consider to be their own little oblasts, as they call them, or provinces, I don't know. But Russia and China are now pledging strength. Then you think about, okay, well, North Korea is allegedly having their military involved in Ukraine. You're starting to see this evolution of a military alliance that is happening. So today, they had a big meeting, and Moscow and Beijing forged closer ties. Russia invading neighbor Ukraine, February 2022. They expect to, or they seek to expand global influence. Another thing that you should keep in mind, and again, things aren't people covering. There's just so much. China right now is really on the precipice of a major financial crapping of the bed. Okay. For those that don't know, the Hong Kong stock market has just been urinating all over itself in the last week, and it goes up and down. But I mean, if you look, it has not come back from the days of Rona, and it keeps in decline. And at this thing, I watched China. I watched China Uncensored because it kind of gave me the background. Guy does a great job, and he's talking about what they're doing to kind of deal with this today. I'm getting back from the dentist. I'm walking. Video pops up. Put it on. Let's see what's going on in China, right? And what they have done is there's so many problems in the financial markets of China. They have effectively put this anything. What did he call it? Anything goes stimulus or what? No, whatever it takes stimulus. Okay. In Chinese, that's what they're calling it. They're calling it whatever it takes stimulus. Now, if that doesn't make you understand just how precarious and literally about how possible the vomiting all over itself the Chinese stock market and financials are about to do, I don't know what to tell you, but the market there is really having a lot of problems. And so whenever you're in, I mean, think about this, what, 1.4 billion people in China? What could you do to keep that entire population, many of whom are not happy, placated? What would you do? Well, you know what? How about a major military push? Something on like, hey, Taiwan would fit the bill, right? Well, of course, same thing's going on with Russia. Russia's, now starting to say, hey, we'll work together. And as they put it here, under the strong leadership of President Xi Jinping, President Vladimir Putin, China-Russia relations have reached an all-time high, serving as a model for major power relations. So China has like a vested interest, not just to work with Russia because of their alliances and everything. And of course, China needs Russia's energy and Russia needs China's technology, especially when it comes to military and other stuff. But now China's got this other issue kind of brewing in the background of their stock market and financials literally about to just go sideways. In fact, it basically already has. If you know anything about Evergrande and Country Garden, these are real estate houses that have hundreds of billions of assets that people rely on. This is their stock market. This is how people make their money. They don't work like it does here. What happens there is you buy, different properties, and the properties pay you like money, dividends and stuff. So you invest in the companies, and you get this like kind of dividends. So it's a way to like invest, and then you own the property and yada. That's a very simplistic view on how it works, but it is what's going on. Well, Country Garden and Evergrande are just like bed crapping right now. Like they're basically zombie companies. Another thing that the guy in China Uncensored said was what they're doing is they're taking these investment houses that are totally dead and they're just propping them up. And so you've got all of these zombie companies that are tied to the property market of China, and it's all just fake. And now it's really starting to happen, and it's getting to that point, as someone said, actually, I think it was Conserve Friends, like we have here in America, you're either going to save the stock market or you're going to save the American dollar. In China, it's the same way. You're either going to save their, residential or their property market and all of the, financials that's tied to that, or you're going to save the yuan. So this is major crap, major, major, major bad stuff going on. And China and Russia now are saying, all right, cool, we see what's going on. And of course, they've got the vested interest of the BRICS. It would not be a really good look if China were to financially go under as they're trying to form this BRICS alliance with Russia and, of course, India and Iran and Indonesia and all these other companies that are coming in. I think Turkey has expressed interest bringing a NATO country into it. So, as I said, they've declared a summit last year that their ties are entering a new era, and they're going to attend the summit for BRICS leaders in Russia next week, expected to meet in Putin again. China is doing everything it can to keep the glue together. Russia is trying to help along because they need each other for multiple different reasons. And again, just another thing that is really a problem that nobody is covering. And then we're going to go to the the big daddy, The one that's going to affect us here pretty soon, and that, of course, is, drum roll, please, Israel. Yesterday, major stuff happened. Follow the crisis report. All of this is there. You get the point. If you're not, and I'm sure most of you are, but if you are not on the crisis report, please join us over there. I can assure you, as I call it, the most comprehensive news on YouTube. You'll learn things that you had no clue is going on. And I do it because I just like to be in the know, and I've got a geopolitical degree or whatever. I like just I'm fascinated by it. So this is a big thing. This is going to affect everything. And my big worry as I go through all the other stories and then we get to this one is that this thing is going to kick off and it's going to really take the energy of the Americans. And at that point, the dominoes are going to start falling and everything is going to start to really go towards a world at war. Okay. So, deadly drone strike yesterday. This is in Haifa, Bisminya. I forget the name. It's like Bisminya or something like that. It's someone wants to put the base in, but basically, Hezbollah figured out that Halevi, the defense minister, was going to be in this base, and they send all of these like super daddy, not really seen before UAVs that go in and they do damage. Now, if you ask Hezbollah, or as Netanyahu calls it, Hezbollah, and Hamas, or the Iranian proxies and the channels that represent them, 60 people died. Okay, if you ask the Israelis, it was 4 people, maybe 6, 7. Yeah, we're gonna a little problem there, right? Yeah, a few people died, not much. Yeah, so again, fog of war. They're saying 4 to 7. The other side says it was like 60 or whatever. Images are really pretty nasty. There's a lot of crap. Anyway, a big event happened, and as Amir Sarfati, who I get my, he's pro-Israel. It's not I believe everything he says. Or I just report on him because he's got the Israeli side, right? And I want to get both sides, especially on the crisis report and here, because I'm not going to get an evolved view by only sitting there and playing to the side I like the most. Sometimes we need to hear uncomfortable truths and understand the way things are, because that way we get a fully evolved thing. And as a prepper, I want to know what's really going on. I'm too old to be lied to, right? So this thing was nasty. It did a lot of damage, and it really shook the Israelis, and had all kinds of meetings today and everything, getting together and basically, um, just as Amir said, this is a game changer. He said, now things change, whatever the heck he said exactly. It's on the crisis report if you want to go find it. And today, all of these meetings were going on, and basically what's going on now is Netanyahu has approved the strikes supposedly on Iran. He said he's going to basically go take a chunk out of someone's what in southern Lebanon, Hezbollah. They're really doing a lot of nasty stuff in Gaza. They basically said yesterday, and this is according to Haaretz, which is the MSNBC of Israel, that the policy in Gaza is going to be a starvation or surrender. Now, I don't know if that's just them being hyperbolic because they want their political creatures in there. I don't know, but that's what they said. Israel basically said we're not just gonna strike back on southern Lebanon, but big story. The overarching thing is everything in this region is about to just get more intense. Israel is really going to start laying the hammer down on some people, and they're basically already doing so. Anybody thinking that this conflict is like going to abate or going to get better or going to slow down or chill out, no. This thing is about to start laying some pipe, if you know what I mean. Okay. So they do this deadly drone strike, and I'll take you through it real quick. Oh, there it goes. Wrong one. All right, cool. So as you can see, this is their picture, but I can assure you the pictures I saw were much nastier, and I'm not going to show you here, but go to Telegram if you want to go on there. They got them all over the place. I think I've got some on my Telegram channel. By the way, on that note, please subscribe to all the different places, X and Truth and Minds and Gab, and put a bunch of stuff onto locals, and subscribe star today. I got great communities over there where I can put stuff out that you can't. It's $3 a month, price of a gas station coffee. Membership here, $2 a month, price of a gas station coffee. In fact, less than. But this UAV did a lot of damage. It says the investigation into the incident has found that the drone appeared back on radars for another minute, half hour between its dropping off of screens and the strikes. Here's the problem with these UAVs with Israel. Their air defense systems are more tailored towards the high altitude stuff. The UAVs can go much, 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 much lower. They can outmaneuver the radar because they can fly very low to the ground. Now, if I remember correctly, this new UAV or rarely used one that they got can do something like 350 kilometers an hour. And this thing was about 120 kilometers away from where it was shot. So you do the math on that. I think it was about 20 minutes or something like that it got there, but it was flying at a very low altitude, like right over the tree line. And it was tough for them. They couldn't stop it. So it got through, did a lot of damage. And now, of course, the Israelis are ticked off. So dropped off radars 30 miles northeast of Acre. IF investigation in the end found the drone appeared back on radars for another minute. Over the course of the war, some 1,200 drones have been fired at Israel. 221 have gotten through. Honestly, that's a pretty good number for the axis of resistance, as they like to call it. And the reason why is because the air defense systems of the Iron Dome, David Sling, the CRAM, and all this kind of stuff, these are major, really high-tech air defense systems that can take most everything out of the sky. Drone warfare has absolutely, if there's one thing we've learned in the last 2 years, drone warfare has absolutely changed the game as it pertains to military conflict. I don't know if you remember a week ago or so, China broke the record for world record for a drone show, like they did like a fireworks display, right? They did like a drone display that could do different things. Think about the military applications of that. Think about what they could do with that. Think about what they could do with a coordinated effort of the drones to really drop the hammer on someone. I mean, these things could really do a lot of damage. And the tech every single month gets better and better and better. And it's a problem. So Air Force is expanding in areas of warning, meaning there will be more sirens, more false alarms. They basically told everybody today in Israel, you need to be by a base or a bomb shelter. Americans said that you have to leave. If you're in Lebanon and you're an American, you need a GTFO right now. And all kinds of problems are going on. And I mean, this is just a simple little snapshot right now of all the different flashpoints. So today, in the last half hour, I think it was, Netanyahu came out and said, "Okay, we've prepared to respond to Israel or Iran." Okay. And by the way, Roaming Prepper's about to go live. When I get done, if you guys could go on over and join him, I would absolutely love that. But it said let me find it. There it is. Okay. Israeli TV channels are now reporting that the attack is inevitable and begin at any moment. And Netanyahu told the United States that Israel will strike Iranian military targets, not nuclear or oil targets. Now, for you and I, gas tanks, that's fantastic. As according to Aquila, great channel I follow on Telegram, the most bang for your buck is going after the nuclear sites. However, as Amir Sarfati puts it, In his opinion, Netanyahu is banking on an Iranian response to a very strong Israel strike on missile and IRGC bases. This would be non-nuclear. This would be non-oil facilities. This would be military installations. That would already be after the U.S. elections, and this would allow him time to strike the oil and nuclear sites without being accused of election interference, and possibly with a Trump presidency on the horizon, and all that goes with that. That's a whole other video right there. They would have the green light. If Trump wins, and to be honest with you right now, as I'm looking at, in fact, I'll look up Polymarket right now. If Trump wins, I think Israel is going to really go after the proxies, the resistance, and all that. And the reason why is because they're going to have the green light. They're going to have a very sympathetic regime. Yeah, he's pulling away. Polymarket is important because Polymarket is betting. That's that's money where your mouth is, right? So it says here right now, 55 to 44. That's 11 point up for Mr. Trump. That's big. That's as big as it's been. He was down 10 days ago, 51 to 48. Now he's up 55 to 44. He's pulling away. What they're doing, and you can see them, they're starting to freak out. SNL just trashed the Democrats on Saturday night, So that's a whole other story. What happens between November and January, just on a political thing in America, you better have your preps ready. As it pertains to what's going on in the SMO and in Ukraine, I think they're waiting just waiting like China is patiently for everything to kind of go up in flames in the Middle East. And then from there, everything's going to kind of go, and it's going to be, as we affectionately call it here, and those that have been here a while know, a confluence of suck. Okay. So right now, let's bring it back to, I want to do 45 minutes. So this is good. Let's bring it back to the whole prepping thing. As I was saying yesterday, I just want to let people know yesterday on video, I'm not like hopeless, we're all going to die person. I'm very actually good on the future right now. I think we have a lot of problems coming up. But as I said yesterday, there's going to be opportunities. And if you're prepped, you're going to be fine. You really should be getting everything. One guy asked me about long-term gas storage. I don't know if you're familiar with Stable or PRI. I like PRI personally better. Is PRI. PRI. It is a gas preservation product, and it works really well. I tested it for the first time. I got gas in April of 2022. Okay, and this stuff was getting long in the tooth. And about 4 months after I got it, I thought, you know what? I got this big batch of PRI back when Rona was rolling. I'm going to take the PRI. I'm going to put it in there. I'm going to see how long this thing goes. I used up the last of that gas in August of this year. That is like 29 months after I got the gas. Okay. It freaking works. So do yourself a favor. If you're into gas storage, of course, follow all your local laws. Don't do anything, that's going to get you in trouble. But it works. And I can personally tell you that. The end stuff, I was using it for my lawnmowers, but totally works. All my mowers are freaking perfect. I just actually got a tune-up. I do that at the end of the year, at the end of the season. I get everything done and do an oil change and get it basically. So when I start ripping the cord in April of 2025, it's purring like a kitten. So PRI works. So no, don't store gas in styrofoam. That actually creates something that America used to drop on the Vietnamese. So if you know, you know. Yeah, don't put it in styrofoam. I get you. Yeah, 2-year-old gas. I'm telling you, it worked. I was very impressed because some people say Stable, others PRI. But now is the time, folks. The regime is going to keep all the prices as low as possible right now because they got an election they have to win. So the prices, your gas, everything, unless something major breaks out, it is a very solid time to go and buy and stock up on stuff. You know, get your water, don't neglect that. Get your your medical, you know, anything. We use the doxycycline on God, I forget what it was. I think my wife took it. She was worried she had long pneumonia, had walking pneumonia. She took doxycycline. She's better now. This is like a month and a half ago. So having you know, JASE case or some kind of affiliate or something with medical, that's a good thing to have. Cycle them out if you have to. You get, what we do is we get diagnosed by the doctor and we say, hey, we got this, and then they get us a new batch of the whatever the med is. We use the meds that we have, and then we put the old or the new meds in where the old meds used to be. You know, first in, first out kind of stuff. All prepping 101, all of it. So lot of flashpoints, as you can see through the presentation. So take this time. You have about 3 weeks left, I think, before everything goes nutty. I think Israel is going to respond against Iran here probably in the next 72 hours. They say they supposedly have a date. I think it will be more of installation kind of stuff. I don't know if it'll be ceremonial, which Iran said, you know, if you hit certain things, we'll kind of look past it. But I think we can all agree that this thing is at some point they're going to go at it. They just hate each other too much. There's too much of a history. There's too much going on. The Israelis see this as existential, and I think they're just, it's over. We're done. So, all right, friends, we're going to wrap it up on that one. I really appreciate you. Please, thanks to my mods like Gene and who else we got here? I saw some others. Thanks for being here, of course. Thanks for all the members like what did I see there? They're the people in green. Anyway, I saw one of them. Revelation of the Mystery. Thank you so much for being a member. Member is an awesome way to do it. You know, helps. Couple bucks. Digna Ortiz, thank you so much. But Joy Calhoun, thank you so much. Anyway, guys, stay nimble, stay frosty, keep doing the things. And as we always say here, stack stock, stick to your plan, keep your head on the swivel, and your powder dry. And we appreciate you coming by. PrepperNow. God bless, friends. We'll see you on the next one.